Whoa, my man CB from Michigan sent me this. Man, it's like a 30-page or something like that. Change of mission, the official newsletter for soldiers with 17 years or more experience or service. So that's not me, but listen to this. I did not know this. This is, I'm not sure how I feel about it. It doesn't really matter my feelings, but watch this if I can. Supreme Court upholds Department of Defense authority to court-martial retired service members. On February 22nd, the U.S. Supreme Court announced it had denied a petition in the case of Larrabee versus the U.S., effectively upholding the DOD's authority to court-martial a retired service member. Retired Marine Staff Sergeant Stephen M. Larrabee was found guilty of sexually assaulting a bartender in November 2015, 3 months after he was retired. At his general court-martial, Larrabee was sentenced to 8 years confinement, a reprimand, and a dishonorable discharge. His sentence was reduced to 10 months by pretrial agreement. Wow, went from 8 years to 10 months. Presumably still got the reprimand and the dishonorable discharge. Larrabee had argued that he was not subject to Article 2 of the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. I'm familiar with UCMJ. I had a couple Article 15s back in my young punk days, which meant we had a lot of buffing of floors to do when everybody else was extra duty, we called it. For weeks on end. I forgot what I did. I got arrested one time in Watertown. Some kid took a swipe at me. I was 18. I literally probably just got off the bus coming from basic training, and we were at some bar, and I wasn't old enough to drink. But I think we was drinking at the barracks, and we go to some bar or something like that. And I'll never forget, some local civilian took a swipe at me, and then and I think he knocked me in the back of the head, if I recall correctly. And we got in a scuffle, and the cops busted me, and the first sergeant... Actually, it wasn't the, I forgot what they call it, the CQ, charge of quarterly, is actually just regular sergeant. E5 had to come pick me up, and that wasn't good. I think it only been in my unit for 3 weeks. I got an Article 15 for that. I was like, man, I didn't even do anything. I mean, the kid swiped me and hit me in the back of the head, and we got to scuffed. It wasn't my fault. He said, you should have walked away. I said, okay. Anyway, so that's I have a couple other, one or two others for Article 15s too. I forgot what they were, but obviously nothing that was too bad. He said I did get a honorable discharge. Larrabee had argued that he was not subject to Article 2 of the UCMJ, which provides that retired members of a regular component of the armed forces who are entitled to pay and members of Fleet Reserve or Fleet Marine Corps Reserve are subject still to the UCMJ and to court-martial for offenses prescribed therein. The court confirmed previous rulings that military members on the retired list are not just mere pensioners, but are a vital segment of the national defense and thus subject to the UCMJ. So if you're retired military and you think you start acting crazy, man, be careful, because you could easily find yourself in Leavenworth with dishonorable discharge. And I don't know if that means sacrifice your pension. I have no idea, but... Gotta be careful out there, my friends. I did not know that. Anyway, it's a pretty interesting PDF newsletter. Lots going on here. It just lots of good information here. So thanks, CB, for sending me this out. Not anything I want to read verbatim in this, because there's a lot to talk about. The BRS, they closed the opt-in window for the BRS, a blended retirement system. They do talk about financial planning and seeing your retirement services officer right here. RSO, Installation Retirement Services Officer. We'll see where they got it. Fort Benning at right here. I'm actually at Fort Gordon. It's funny. I've been to all these places. Fort Benning, Fort Gordon, Fort Stewart. Been all three. Isn't that funny? Let's see what else we got in here that I've been to. Obviously been to Fort Drum, which they got there. Louisiana, Fort Polk, been there. California, got anything in California? Never been at Fort Irwin, been there. Never been to Monterey, which sounds awesome. Never been to Schofield. Been to Fort Meade, not on the Army, but I had a good friend who lived in Frederick, Maryland. Never been to none of those in New Jersey. Been to West Point, Fort Jackson. I never went to Fort Jackson, actually. Never went to Fort Sill. Went to Fort Bragg. Just been to Fort Belvoir a million times. It's right outside D.C. Looks like that's it. And let's see about Germany. If these ring a bell for me in Germany. Stuttgart, been there. And that's the only one I remember, Stuttgart. So I don't see anything in Latin America. I'm sure they don't have anything in Honduras or anything. But In Puerto Rico, Fort Buchanan. That sounds like a good place to go. Anyway, so hope this helps, my friends. Just be careful if you're retired military. Woo-wee! You are still on under the code of Uniform Code of Military Justice. Yikes. I'm not retired, so I can do whatever I want. We'll see you next time.